So we're going to start with the army screen here and give you guys an overview of, you've got the new overlord at the very top center of the fortress here. It's like this one is Osran's the Destroyer. So every time you play the game, every time you start this, start up a new save, you're going to have a completely randomly generated set of enemies here. The Nemesis system, you know, at its core, works the same way as it did in Mordor. Procedurally generated guys, their names, their looks, their strengths and weaknesses. Though this guy has a terror. What can we exploit if we get in there and fight him? More guy flies. That's tough. That's tough to come by inside an Overlord's keep. He probably doesn't stock the thing he's afraid of most. So in order to take him out, we have to complete the fortress assault. That's a huge, insane battle. And the fortress is stocked with all these defenses guarded by the war chiefs on the pedestals here. So it looks like we know about a couple of them already. We can go around the world and gather intel to learn about their strengths and weaknesses and who they are. But right now we know Takra, the head lopper. It's got one right on top there. Also terrified of flies and ghouls and weak to beasts. So we could call in our beast friends to help if we go after him. And then there's a lot of flies going around today. Push Crimp the Hellhawk. So we can go after these war chiefs and try and defeat them ahead of time to weaken the fortress. So if we were to go straight at the fortress assault right now, it's going to be all 6 of these war chiefs with all their bodyguards. It's an insane battle. There's so many boss fights simultaneously. You can do that if you want. You're just almost certainly going to die, unless you're Ellie. She can pull it off sometimes. But since we have a little more time, we want to go deeper into the other side of the Nemesis system. We can pick one of these guys off ahead of time and walk you through some of the different strategic options that are available there. So first, because we like to be more entertained and surprised ourselves when we're showing the game off, we're going to try and let you guys decide some of the points along the way here. So should we go after Takra the Headlopper first, or Push Crimp the Hellhawk? Anybody? Hellhawk. Hellhawk. Okay, I heard more Hellhawks. So we'll mark him. Now, we can see he's got a bodyguard who's also going on his own mission at the moment. So again, the next step down, if we go after the Hellhawk, we can draw him out by killing his warriors inside the fortress without triggering the alarm. They've all got their conditions that are usually unique to what makes them who they are, that draws them out into the open, but that's inside the fortress, surrounded by a million enemies and his bodyguard alongside him. If we go another step down, we could pick off the bodyguard ahead of time. We could send some of our own followers to infiltrate and become bodyguards alongside him. Maybe we should even try that. Maybe we should try sending I'm just picking things to do here. Let's go with Mountain Eater. Let's try and make Mountain Eater a bodyguard of that war chief before we take him on. So if you highlight the war chief, you know, you could send him on a mission to kill the bodyguard. You'd have a little help going after the bodyguard. You could send him up to become a spy and become a bodyguard of the war chief, so you'd have somebody there to stab him in the back when you go after him. What should we do? Should we send him to kill the bodyguard or become a spy? Spy. Pretty universally spy. All right. So that's going to make a mission where he has to go prove himself. So these are new missions in Shadow of War where they're going to go into the fight pits and fight amongst themselves. You can't get involved as Talion. This is going to be a spectator sport for you. So we got to go see if our Olog captain can defeat whatever orc is put up against to prove himself as a powerful bodyguard of the war chief. So Ellie's going to make her way there using some of the new traversal skills. Oh, man. You're going to combo it all up? Look at that. Okay, so she's using the rhythmic climbing to speed up the walls, double jumping out to get extra distance, and then she did the Talon Strike to dive straight forward right up next to the mission here. Take out that archer, and then we can start and look into the fight pits and see how our man does. Arhisu the Mountain Eater versus Tugog the Dreamer.
Now you will taste defeat! Stop babbling and get to fighting! It's all a dream!
All right, so our guy is much higher level, He's got a gang with him. He's got this little archer. It looks like he's gonna succeed handily here. Look at that. Nice. All right, that took no time at all. So now that Mountain Eater has defeated this guy in the pits in front of everybody, he's infiltrated as a spy. He's also leveled up. Fight pits are a nice place to grow in power as well. And we got the gear from the guy he killed too. So, all right, now let's back out and go after our war chief. There we go. So now Hellhawk has 2 bodyguards, one of whom is going to be more helpful than the other. Nice.
I smell something.
All right, so to draw him out, we're going to kill his warriors without triggering the alarm. This is another one of those missions that at first it might sound like a stealth mission, and you can totally play it that way. But around the studio, we have people who like to try and accomplish it different ways. One of my friends is obsessed with always doing it head on into battle and
Show
just
this war chief the uselessness of his defenses by killing his orcs before they can sound the alarm.
if you juggle the guys trying to raise the alarm, you can kind of get everyone's attention but never let the alarm go off. We'll see how Ellie decides to handle this.
Get around, torching our supplies. We've got to stop them.
Going for the optional objective. You see her shadow striking around. You can use the enemies as quick traversal points. Collect some ammo. Whoops. You can also shadow strike into the fire pits and create these explosions. Looks like Ellie's gonna sneak around. Oh, maybe you can pull off a chain. These guys. There you go, nice. Some new stealth options to have Celebrimbor manifest more and chain out into these other guys. One more. Nice.
Glory to the bright Lord!
All right, so I'll head over there and help our bodyguard take him out. Now we can also set guys as bodyguards for Talion that you can call in at any moment. Whoa.
The ranger's wings bring him flight. But at what cost? The cost to those around him. The cost to himself. The time has come for this debt to be paid. Death's wings beat, and its eyes are focused squarely on you.
Nice. Oh, what? Where'd that Drake come from?
Stay away from the fire!
Oh my god. Okay. The Drake distraction there gave us enough time to go ahead and dominate and recruit this guy. So we have another set of options here. So we can release him and just fight him to the death and kill him and collect his gear. We can recruit him into the army and add him to our ranks, bring him to the assault, send him on other missions. Or we can shame him, which levels him down and may or may not make him completely lose his mind. So what do you guys want to do? Kill him, shame him, or recruit him? Okay, we'll shame him. Okay, so shaming has counts as a defeat here. He has lost 5 levels from having been shamed. Importantly, for the fort assault, we've disabled the Caragors that he was bringing to the defensive side. So now we also have a hole that's been created in the hierarchy at that war chief level, which opens up some new possibilities for us. Oh. Okay, how about just another possibility? If we recruit his bodyguard that just flipped out, then we could send him on another mission.
Tasty, 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 tasty.
Okay, command. Let's do command. Okay, so again, we can send him to become a bodyguard of another spy. Now that there's an empty war chief slot, we can send him to try and prove himself to the Overlord to become a spy war chief, which will open up some other opportunities for us. He'll be on the inside for the fort assault. That'll make the assault quite a bit easier. We can also send him after the other war chiefs and create these pitched battles where they're all bringing their bodyguards to bear. We could send him after another bodyguard of one of the other war chiefs as we work towards weakening somebody else. Is somebody else on a Nemesis mission down there? We've got, yeah, that guy. Yeah, let's send him to ambush that guy's mission. So again, the Nemesis characters are out in the world doing their own missions, leveling up, growing and changing, and there's more influence that the events and interactions in Shadow of War have over shaping who these guys are. Their personalities can transform much more deeply, and they can gain new traits and new titles and become different kinds of characters based on what kinds of missions they're doing and what kinds of interactions you have with them. So we send this guy to ambush one of the other bodyguards' missions, so we can go over and help him take out another enemy here. Oh, there's the broken Drake right behind you. Quick traversal. Nice. We'll fly over.
Sauron's domain is now much smaller.
So we'll take this Drake ride over to the start point for this Nemesis mission. Now, as you're flying the Drakes around, you can breathe fire, you can pick up enemies and carry them off and drop them into the lava or eat them and get a little health back. Of course, we can just dismount wherever we want and go into range from up there, shadow strike down. Let's see what Tasty does to this bodyguard.
Whatever else happens in this war, this archway is not falling to the enemy. You can bet on that.
Rip them to pieces and take control of that road.
Tasty! 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 It's so fantastically tasty!
All right, so this was a mission between these two enemy orcs, but our guy's going to come in and ambush, and we can use that distraction to help take them out too. If we go into the Wraith world, we can see their strengths and weaknesses. So since we haven't gained intel ahead of time about this other guy involved, we don't know what he's weak to, but we know what he's capable of.
Arsaku.
The guy we did know about, we can capitalize on. Stealth would be a good approach. He's dazed by that. Beast fodder, we can call in our beasts as well to help us, and using poison. It's like Ellie's equipped a higher end upgrade where you can call a Graug in. All right, we've got these guys broken, and before our Graug goes crazy and kills everybody, come down and take some more prisoners. So now if we recruit a bodyguard, a guy who's already a war chief's bodyguard, it helps us shortcut that spy creation process. So there's a little bit of a streamlining if you pick off the bodyguards as the ones you recruit. If you get some other guy, you can send them to prove themselves. That's always a bit of a gamble. So let's recruit this guy and...
Swear loyalty to the Bright Lord!
I serve you, Bright Lord.
So now we have the option to just go ahead and make him a spy immediately without having to go through the fight pit mission and proving. All right. So we dominated one guy. The other guy's considered the winner of this Nemesis mission, so he leveled up a little bit, but he's right here in front of us if we want to kill him or take him on. Oh, but he's very angry. Looks like our friend took him out. Okay, so how much time do we have? 5 minutes? All right, well, let's jump over to the Fort Assault real quick. We'll get in there. We won't have time to take the whole thing down in 5 minutes probably, but you can get a taste of what this all builds up to, even though we haven't done enough prep work to really destroy the place beforehand. Stylish. All right, so you can see our army over there. Ellie's going to purchase some upgrades for the assaulting team. You can see the enemy war chiefs over there. If you'd installed spies, you would see them hanging out on that side. All the upgrades that they bring with them, so you can inspect which things you're particularly afraid of and try and pick off those war chiefs ahead of time. We're going to bring a bunch of guys over here with a Drake and siege beasts and Caragor riders and go after this fortress. You get a little taste. It'll still be pretty challenging.
Poor Falterman. I think he should go back there, because here he finds real fight. Here he finds death. We forge weapons of war. We are weapons of war.
The lads are ready, my lord.
If he thought he could scare us with words, he's wrong. And if he thought he was gonna survive this, there goes double!
So you can see a couple of our captains have been dazed out front. that means their weaknesses are being preyed upon here. If we were being really meticulous, we could make sure our army is ready to go for whatever the strengths of the enemy team were throwing at them. But in the meantime, Ellie's mounted the siege beast up there, turned him against their own team here, diving into one of the capture points to start trying to capture this fortress.
You're not taking one more step into this fort.
But you can see it's still guarded by the war chief and his bodyguards. Oh, she's going to unleash Elven Rage and work them down quick, huh? Whoa. Look out, he's throwing out grenades.
Go for the wings! This is just one battle. You will lose the war.
Oh, hello.
Execution? Oh. Oh no.
They destroyed the wall while our guy was on top, so that's unfortunate. Usually as an attentive master, you can rescue the guys as they bleed out through the fight. Does put you at a little more risk, though.
You're gonna die here. Will not.
Push forward to the square.
Hold it right.
Eyes up.
Taking the incoming fire. Siege beast.
Siege attacks. Take cover.
The tide is turning against you. A tide of Uruk iron. I'm gonna slice open your veins and drench the ground with your blood.
We're done talking. It's time to start killing.
So we've got a bunch of different advanced classes this time around that the Nemesis enemies can all grow into. Last time it was kind of the all strengths, no weaknesses pinnacle for each guy, but now we have, oh, about to fail, and here comes Tasty to save us. Wow. Thanks, Tasty.
So tasty.
I mean, to be fair, that was actually pretty tasty. Jeez. Just going to... So the advanced classes mean that the captains can grow to be all these different archetypes, like trackers who lay down traps for you that she just got caught in, the tricksters who are evasive, smoke bombing around, the tanks absorbing lots of damage and healing. There's a bunch of different ways that they can grow into these boss fights that are very different from each other at the very late endgame stages. Man, you guys are doing a lot of work. Okay. All right, since we're almost out of time, we're not going to make it to the end of this. Let's just take a dive and let this guy win. No saviors this time? Okay, there we go.
Thank you, Tark.
Suppose it makes me a top killer. No.
Tark Slayer!
I quite like the sound of that.
Tark Slayer! From now on, I will be known as the Tark Slayer!